All right, brother, hold up. It's the man of knowledge coming at your way. Check it in. Check it out. Peace. So, as we all know, the NBA playoffs has been arriving. I've been gone for a good minute on the man of knowledge. Go check out my main channel, Q Speaks Facts. That's where I mostly am. But we're gonna stay on this channel for a good minute or two. Brothers, as we see, it says LeBron tweets, "We demand change. Sick of it," as Lakers and Clippers reportedly push against resuming season. Now, brothers, this is the old video I was supposed to have been touched upon. Talk about these athletes. Look, don't be sitting here worshiping these athletes, man, listening to the Black Lives Matter bullshit, okay? That's nothing more but them playing a part of manipulation tactics upon the so-called black community, because they know they know where they get their number one most viewership from, okay? They don't give a fuck about you. All they want is their checks. I've stated this multiple times. But anyway, let's listen to what they gotta say and talk about the hypocrisy. All right? And I'm gonna talk about why idolatry is stupid. Okay? Check it out.
He wants to see the men that are more powerful than him use their platform, use their means to help a community in need. That's what he wants to see. And he says, if you're not, I'm willing to walk away from it. To show you.
What men are even more powerful than him? Talking about the elites? Donald Trump? The so-called white man? What was he talking about? And don't give me all that bullshit talking about he gonna walk away from something. LeBron don't have no fucking power to walk away from anything. Okay? He's being handled, okay? He's controlled. These athletes ain't nothing but slaves, man. They ain't nothing but modern day slaves. Okay? If he wanted to leave so bad, before the NBA even started back, he would have went to another country. Since he's LeBron James. And what he would have done was, instead of coming back to America in the sports league where so-called wokey wokes and pro-blacks claim to be oppressed, he would have went somewhere else and started a league and got some sponsorship there. But he comes back to a place where so-called black people are being oppressed and racially profiled, racially charged, getting involved with racial altercations with the police. Brothers, once again, our people have a huge time with trying to play the victim. Too many of our people have victim mentalities rather than ruling class mentalities. And that's what's messing up our people more and more every single day as the day goes by. And we look for people to speak up for us rather than speaking for ourselves. And then when we have someone to speak up for us, allegedly, or ostensibly for the most part, we're always depending on the athletes to do it. or rappers. Or we depend on politicians or Democrats. And for the most part, all these people are controlled, man.
You just how serious I am about this situation. Skip.
And and also from what I get, if LeBron's so pro-black and the Black Lives supposed to matter, aka Black lesbians matter, then tell me why is he still here in America? For all you pro-blacks who hate America, why are you still here? You don't fight for nobody's validation, man.
What has happened is that LeBron, and I think a lot of the guys in the bubbles, and I think a lot of people outside the community are starting to see the progress slow that was generated from the George Floyd murder. And it's like, that was not what, and that was not what I expected.
Allegedly.
And he says, I'm down in the bubble, and LeBron says, I can do too. Because a lot of guys, Kyrie was the first one to say, man, forget this. Let's just keep the focus on this.
I made a video about Kyrie Irving called "The Prospects of Being a Thinking Black Man." If you brothers are new to my channel, who are subscribed, go check that out and share the content and get some more black male subscribers in here, or anyone who just wants truth. But this channel is mainly for so-called black people, particularly the so-called black man.
And then don't even worry about that bubble. But LeBron says I can do two things. I can bring attention and I can go play basketball.
Yes. Because LeBron James is an attention whore.
But in the process of him being in the bubble, he's seen the movement almost stall. And he's like, no, that's not why I came down here. Yes, I came to play, but I was hoping that the movement that had started after the brutal murder of George Floyd would continue.
Well, rumors have it that George Floyd was a Freemason, sir. Kind of part of programming. So, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
And it's not. And I think the people that can help, because remember now, a lot of the things that were going on in the 60s, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund with a lot of white Jewish lawyers. It was a lot of whites that got on board. Really what started the skip, when they killed those two Catholic priests down in the South, I think it was Mississippi, that changed it.
I believe so too. I'm from Mississippi. I think I know what you're talking about. Keep going.
Dynamic. Yeah. LeBron says, you guys worth billions. You got contacts that they're a fan of mine, but they don't want to hear what I got to say. Because sometimes, Skip, you'll be willing to listen to someone that looks like you, that sounds like you, that talks like you, that travel in the circle of you, as opposed to me.
He didn't want to agree with that. He didn't want to shake his head at yes to that. But it's true. It's true. 9 out of 10. You always want to go for someone that's in your own culture. It's true. But I think everybody wants to do that except so-called black people. Black people don't even trust black people. Black people don't even care about other black people anymore, for the most part. But yes, I agree with that, Shannon.
Maybe they can say it, phrase it, make it digestible that you like it. And I haven't seen enough of that. You've got all these T-shirts, Black Lives Matter, on the court, issue statements.
And what the hell is that? See, man, this is why I say it looks like modern slavery all over again, because you're asking for freedom. You're asking to be treated as equal as the next man, the so-called white man, etc. Any black man in America. But yet, you're so pro-blackity and wokety woke, but you're still playing illegal basketball in the NBA. You're still in the American Association Basketball League called the NBA. LeBron, if you're so powerful, why didn't you start your own school? I'm sorry, why didn't you start your own league? This is something I've been asking. And then brother shut down the league, but they didn't last long. That didn't last long. They don't have no fucking control, man. For the most part, LeBron James is an MK Ultra asset. Okay? A MK Ultra athlete. Most of these athletes, these monarch, prominent, high tier of the hierarchy in the hierarchy, they are indeed MK Ultra assets.
Call your local legislators. Have you called your state legislators? Have you called your attorney general? Have you called your DAs?
If I'm not mistaken, a legislator is a law. Yes.
Have you talked to the mayors? What have you done? Police chief, what have you done? So I need to see more. And if I don't see more, I'm going to take my ball and go home.
So you think...
Why didn't you do that in the first place, though, LeBron? You taking what ball? The basketball or your ball-headed ass?
This is a genuine threat. One, that it is highly possible LeBron Clippers, Bucks will take their balls and go home.
1,000%.
Would you? It seems like the more you talk, the more you're leaning toward that's going to happen. Is that your gut?
Unless they get the assurances that these owners are going to become an active participant. Because Skip, it's easy. Skip, you listen. You can. Oh yeah, that's you go to the. But are you invested? How invested are you? Because in any team, Skip, in order for any team to be successful, you need the top to be as equally invested as the janitors. So the owner needs to be as invested as their janitors. Well, LeBron James says in order for this thing to work, we need the most prominent people in America to be invested in our community as we are. And if you're unwilling to do that,
you see that mask that you see the mask that LeBron James is wearing. You see the symbol of the lion. You see that? Check that out. All right, man. That's all I got to say. Now, what is this showing you? What is this showing you? The lion, if I'm not mistaken, represents has everything to do with it has everything to do to show you that he's an MK Ultra asset for the most part. That lion, I think that's a lion there, people. With a crown on his head. Okay? Brothers, there was one point of time blacks ruled in America. I'm sorry, not America. Black people once ruled, okay? Black people ruled in Europe. All four corners. Okay? But the history cannot tell you that.
we're going to see, what will you do? What will make you, as my grandma say, donkey was stubborn, you can't get them to G or ha. Mm-hmm. Well, what's going to get you to move? What can make you move, Skip? What's the carrot and what's the stick? Because we get carrot, we come down here, we play in the bubble, we quarantine, we're away from our family for a month. So now we got to try to stick.
So, for me, again, my 2 cents from a distance, I found this...
Now, keep in mind, they also have that picture of LeBron right there for a reason. Okay? There's a reason why he's there for a reason. Okay? That picture that you see of LeBron is there for a reason, people.
To be a stunning change last night in LeBron's approach to all of the above. Because leading up to the bubble, it felt to me like LeBron went radio silent. I didn't hear anything. He said you can do 2 things, but I didn't see anything from him. I think you assumed he could do 2 things because he obviously could do 2 things. He could use the bubble stage, since we've been deprived of that game for 5 months.
Right.
To continue to mount a protest, to continue to enlighten, to campaign for all of the above from the bubble, because everybody's going to be paying attention to the new stage that is the bubble.
Correct.
So I didn't hear anything from him, and they had that Friday night call that was on June 12th. Remember, it was the Kyrie call. Mm-hmm. LeBron reportedly did not participate, but 80 players did, and the point of the call was play or not play, bubble or not bubble. Kyrie led the charge, no bubble. And reportedly, he was saying, I don't support going into Orlando. I'm not with systemic racism and all the BS. Something smells a little fishy. That's Kyrie. And yesterday,
And Kyrie was 100% on point. Kyrie's a young brother who is aware of things. Kyrie Irving is a very sophisticated black man. A thinking black man. You are everybody's number one enemy when you are a thinking so-called black man who's not with the programming and with all the bullshit. That's why people think Kyrie's so crazy and he's so-called quote-unquote weird.
He was trending on Twitter. I know you saw it. Because people were saying, aha, he was right from the start, because now everybody has come to the same conclusion. It is smelling a little bit. It smells fishy
Oh, no shit. No shit. No shit.
here. So Kyrie got his props yesterday for taking an early stand.
But they was giving him heat in June, wasn't he? Exactly.
It was a little easier for him to take that stand because he had already ruled himself out.
Right, he was injured. He couldn't go to the bubble.
And they wouldn't let him go. He said, I'll go with my team, but I can only watch my team. And they said, no, you can't go because we can only have X people in the bubble.
Correct.
Right? Okay, so it seemed a little easier for him to make that statement, but still. That was a call on Friday night, June 12th, and the season was teetering because it seemed like a whole lot of players were 50-50, as you say, about should we even go to the bubble.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing was, Skip, the big names. The Giannis's, the LeBron, the ADs, the Kawhis, the James Harden.
Okay.
Russell, they was like, okay, let's go.
All right. And on June 14th.
Why? Because they're attention whores. Now, maybe, okay, I can take that back. Maybe not Kawhi Leonard and possibly Giannis, but James Hardhead, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James. Those cats are attention whores for the most part, man. Because they're the high monarch athletes. They're the prominent athletes. That's who everybody has the money to that's who all pays to get watched the most.
Patrick Beverly tweeted. You remember this one? Yeah. This was a classic to me because it said so much in a few words. Hoopers say what y'all want, meaning NBA players. If at King James said he hooping, we all hooping. So Patrick was just saying he runs this league. He's the face of this league. He is the most powerful voice in this league.
LeBron don't run shit. LeBron don't run shit. If there's anything, LeBron's being run. But he don't run shit.
And if he says we're going, we are going to play basketball in Orlando. And Patrick concluded in the tweet, not personal, only.
Now, yes, LeBron James is the face of the NBA. I think we can all agree with that. That's facts.
All caps business, and then he had a hashtag stay woke. Great. So
here we go. Stay woke. Fuck all that stay woke shit, man. Stay blessed.
He's basically saying, the king is saying, we're playing basketball. Right. And obviously, on purely a basketball level,
LeBron trying to get that fourth ring, man.
The Kings got a good team this year, and the Kings team was really hot right before the pandemic hit, as you know. And the King obviously has a real shot, a legit shot, maybe even an odds-on favorite shot to win his fourth championship this year, and it's sort of a sprint to the finish line.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Orlando. Yeah. So the King has invested a whole lot of days down in that bubble. And I know it's not exactly going to prison, but they don't love it because they've been away from their kinfolk, their family, their friends. And it just gets to be cabin fever down in the bubble. So LeBron's invested all those cabin fever days where you've been stuck in your hotel room or playing video games just around the guys, the fellas. And all of a sudden, that happened in Kenosha, and LeBron flipped and went completely the other way. So he's invested all of this. They're coming off their best game. I mean, it was their most impressive game in the bubble, right? Yep. You've had some trepidation about can't make shots, 3-point shots. They
made shots.
They made a whole bunch of shots, and he made shots. He played his best game, and so it shocked me that all of a sudden, off last night, he went completely the other way and appears, as you point out very strongly, he appears willing to risk all the investment in the bubble, a team that is poised to maybe win his fourth championship. And remember, obviously, I'm not saying his clock is ticking at this point. I'm not even saying the window is closing, but It is. It's starting to come down to well, you got to face reality. It's 17 years in the league. Of course. Okay, so he has to be thinking in the back of his mind, man, I got a shot here, because you talk about his legacy. He's got an off-the-court legacy, and he's got an on-the-court legacy, and it would certainly help to win a 4th championship,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So he is apparently willing.
I mean, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
Last night to risk this because it was a fiery, emotional, maybe even an angry 8 p.m. Eastern meeting in the bubble. All the players who wanted to attend, all the coaches who attended, even Jacob Blake family members virtually attending. It was quite a meeting, and I wish we could have been flies on that wall to hear what exactly was said. But in the end, he led the charge out the door of Lakers and Clippers, and the Bucks were already, so to speak, out the door. So the top 3 teams are threatening to call it off.
Right.
Well, what's Adam Silver going to do now? We'll still try to play? Does that make the Heat the favorite? You know, like all of a sudden?
Skip, you know, the thing that made Muhammad Ali so beloved is that he was willing to give up something that had fought his entire life to achieve. Right in the prime of his career, he said, this isn't right, I'll go shut it down.
He sure did. I don't think he still gets enough credit. It was
I agree.
3 years in the heart of his prime.
In the heart.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron is 17 years in. This is, what was he, like 27-ish?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Skip, is that he's like, as you mentioned, all these things. He's in prime position. He's in the best position he's been in a long time to seriously compete for a title.
Yep.
And he said, I get that up. Because what's going on in my communities and what these...
LeBron James is full of shit. Because why is the playoffs have returned? They played last night with the Portland Trail Blazers, and yes, they eliminated them 4-1.
These minorities are going through. And the systemic racism and the injustice...
Another thing I get tired of hearing is the word minority. When blacks or non-whites call themselves the minority. When you calling yourself the minority, you're basically confirming to yourself that you're less than someone. That you're less than them. And that you're a child. When it comes to them.
Justice and the economic inequality...
That's part of where that victimhood that victimhood mentality comes from, rather than the ruling class mentality. That's where all that comes from.
...that I see is not worth this.
Okay, here we go. Because I'm back to the Pat Bev tweet. You could reverse it and say, say what y'all want, but if King James said we ain't hooping, you ain't hooping.
If King James out, we all out.
I got it. That's the bottom line to this.
Thank you for watching.
Well, he might just be their handlers. Who the hell knows? That's it on that, though, man. Question I wanted to ask, man, is LeBron James a fraud? Is he a fraud? Bottom line, man, just stop depending on these athletes, man. I got more videos coming up on the way soon, so peace.